10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, Silver Squad? My name is RJ.
I'm Desiree.
I'm Jay.
I'm Gerald. G saw that.
And welcome to the Silver Site, where we break down any and all of everything is lights, camera, culture over here. And today we're going to be breaking down The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3, The Path. Let's jump right into it. So overall thoughts on this episode, Gerald?
I mean, it was pretty plain Jane for me. I watched it. I was interested in Ellie's kind of her emotional state, but it didn't really do a great deal for me. It was just something to get through for the night.
Okay, Desiree.
If I could describe it in one word, I would say necessary.
Okay. Yeah. And Jay.
It was more of an episode about mourning, which we'll get into in a little bit, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, Shayna. Yeah, I got it's a mixed bag. It wasn't really eventful. And T Wade, what up? It wasn't really super eventful. We did get to see Ellie kind of dealing with her grief. We got to talk, see the fallout from Joel's death. We got a little bit of insight into the council and how things operate in Jacksonville or Jackson. I feel like I said something last week.
Jackson, I believe.
Jackson, yeah. Jackson, yeah. We got a kind of insight into how Jackson works. We got a peek of the scars, which I'm really excited for you guys to experience. One thing that I love sci-fi, I love fantasy, and my secret guilty pleasure is cults. And this cult is like, I love the scars. They're probably my favorite part about Last of Us 2, just the lore behind that. But yeah, and we got to learn a little bit more about the wolves and what they're capable of, and just the sheer force of like just the militant force that they're going to be up against in season 2. So I guess let's just jump right into it. So Ellie wakes up in the hospital and she is just traumatized from Joel's death and what they went through, and her seeing him get murdered in cold blood like right in front of her eyes. So what did you guys think of that scene?
Pretty emotional.
Yeah.
Pretty emotional.
I liked it. It gave us an emotional insight, or at least an insight into her emotion and what she was feeling, the trauma that she experienced.
Yeah. And they said they made her speak to whatever that psychologist is too, right? Before she left the hospital.
Yeah.
Gail. But it's funny. It's funny you say that though. Coming from somebody who felt like this, vanilla is not the right word, because I feel like the action was, I think they feel like they gave us a lot of action last episode. So this one's a little different, but they still made a point to show that she still had a very guarded way of protecting she and Joel's relationship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I think that was very interesting. I like their conversation because it was really just the background of where she comes from, the whole saving thing. Like it really meant something to her, but like it like Gerald said, they weren't trying to tell us everything. They were just trying to, show us in them, because we already knew and we felt it. So it was like a heartfelt episode for me.
And I think Bella Ramsey did an excellent job of portraying that grief without kind of like overdoing it. And I know there's been some criticism of her. I don't even want to call it criticism of her acting. I feel like it's the portrayal of Ellie. And if I'm being completely honest, to me, I like Bella Ramsey. I do also see where people are coming from, when she just sometimes doesn't feel like Ellie. She feels like if someone were cosplaying an Ellie character, even some of the dialogue and the way she speaks and the way the lines are delivered, it sounds like she Googled what does Ellie sound like and just kind of is doing that.
Okay, so it's interesting you say that, but you also have to remember, and this is again come from somebody who didn't play the game. If you play a video game, you have somebody that's embodying a character, right? And so for them to play this character in a specific way would almost be embodying a character. Like, I get it as TV, I get it. However, there was a lot of emotion that was still conveyed.
Yeah, definitely.
By their actions or non-actions, because a lot of non-dialogue that was spoken was just said with the eyes.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think there's a part where like Ellie's character just delivers things in a more, I guess, RJ, what would you say? Like, not corny, but it's like
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like she puts on Ellie, and to be honest, I kind of feel the same way about Dina's actress too. But then I have to think back to the game and just realize that in the game as well, Dina to me just comes across as very dry, whereas the Dina in this one has a little bit more personality. And so I think that change was probably a smart thing to do. Yep, but not in the writing director. Exactly.
You know, I think it is,
Exactly.
RJ. I think that the game strictly gave us like all these cut scenes that made it feel like a movie, that we're kind of seeing it again in a live action form. That's kind of like transforming our brains into like, you know, we've already seen this, so it's already, a story has been told.
Yeah.
Kind of. But not to say, of course, the show is bad at all. It's just that it's something to get used to because of how they're putting their own spin on it.
And to be honest,
start turning with that.
Yeah, and to be honest, what also gets me, and I've never said this out loud because I don't want to get jumped by like Pedro Pascal's fans, but to me, he does not embody Joel. Sometimes, like Joel is a good old country Southern boy, and just Pedro just is Pedro Pascal. He's just like, you know, I'm cool, I'm tough, I'm mellow, and so I think that it's unfair of everybody to jump on Bella Ramsey and their portrayal. I think I used the wrong pronoun earlier. My apologies.
Yeah.
Their portrayal of Ellie, when there's a lot more people that don't embody their character. For example, Tati Gabriel plays Nora. Nora's not like that at all. Like, she's not sultry, you know. And Tati Gabriel, she's, you know, even her eyes, she's like, I don't know, I love her. But yeah, like,
no, I'm with you.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Yeah,
I feel like there's moments where, because like the community itself does have more hatred in some ways towards Bella Ramsey playing his role. I think she's doing fine. I actually think she is playing a really great Ellie. Yeah. But with the Joel situation, I think Pedro, as great of an actor as he is, I think there's just some like things that we just see that how Joel is played a little bit differently in the game versus the show.
But I think that's the ebb and flow of the two, because you're meshing two worlds, and you have to worry about your, for lack of a better term, your fanboy people who are going to pick everything apart. That's not what they did in the game. They didn't do that in the game. If you're going to watch the whole episode like that, I mean, why are you watching it?
Yeah,
because they didn't get your permission to release it. So like, you can be mad all you want. I mean, let's think about it. That's the same thing that happens with fan service in a lot of these films. Is people sit back and nitpick, and then they want to change this and change that and make this a little different. And the reality is, they have the creative capacity to do so because they're working hand in hand with the game developers.
Or when it's a shot for shot, they say like, "Oh, that was boring." Like, okay, well, what did you want? Yeah, there is something in my house. there's either a raccoon or a pole. There's something in here, or someone.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is like the third time I've heard like doo-doo-doo-doo, like in my attic. I'm not dealing with it.
Oh my gosh!
But anyway, one thing I do want to say is one part of the performance that really got next to me, which was when Ellie went to Joel's house to mourn him, and she's going through his things, and she's, you know, smelling his coat and looking at his gun. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about as far as like the good parts of Bella Ramsey's performance, where people are overlooking it because she's not a carbon copy cut and paste face of the character Ellie. We're overlooking these moments where her acting is absolutely brilliant, simply because they didn't cast who we wanted them to cast.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the scenes that I appreciated the most out of this episode. You know, when you're in a situation of grief, and especially when you're tasked with the responsibility of having to accurately portray that. I would say from the audience's perspective that she did a wonderful job. And I think what also kind of gauged her into that emotional, just the emotional side of things was her grabbing that jacket. You have to imagine as an actor, if you lost someone, what is the smell? What am I feeling from that smell? Just different things that can get you there. And I think she was able to do that. I mean, it seemed effortlessly. That she was able to sort of get that scene. It was beautiful.
It really was. Now, and I know we were talking earlier, Gerald, and you wanted to know some of the differences in the games, between the games and the show. Oh yeah, don't forget to like the live, y'all. Sorry, T-Mom, I didn't mean to boot your comment off. Hey, what's up, AK? Thanks for popping in. I'm sorry, I'm going to put Timo's comment back up. No, not that one. That one. Don't forget to like live while you're here. We love interaction and things like that, and it helps us. And share. And if you're
leave us a comment, tell us how we're doing.
Comment. Tell your friends. We haven't lasted a party. But and what up, AK? Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. So one thing that they did change from the game to the TV show is when Ellie was in the house and Dina came with her. What's Joe's brother's name?
Oh shoot!
Oh, is it
Carlos?
Why is Sam coming to mind? I don't know.
Tommy.
Is it Tommy?
Is it Tommy?
It's Tommy. Mm-hmm.
It's Tommy. Okay. So Tommy's wife actually, when Dina calls her downstairs, Tommy's wife is also downstairs. Like she pops up and she's like, "I understand you have to go." There's no counsel shit in the show. It's just like, I do your thing. Like, I won't stop you guys if you have to take revenge or whatever. And so they actually get the blessing to leave the city. So that's something that's different.
Okay, I kind of heard that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I actually like this better. I like this better.
Me too. It was better. I think it was just better fitting for not just live action, but just.
And you're right, and it created a little bit more sense of actual community versus everybody just for themselves.
Yeah.
Even though Ellie ends up leaving, which everybody and their mama knows she's leaving, regardless of what the outcome of that was going to be. But it created more sense of community, that they had a actual functioning society going on.
So Des mentioned this when we were watching the scene at the end, how they talk at the end, the post-credit scenes. They sit down and talk.
Behind the scenes.
And the producers. So Des mentioned that one thing in the show that she liked was how that the guy, I think it was one of the producers, mentioned that everyone was feeling something. It wasn't just the main characters. So that sense of community was so important. So it's like you see this. It's not just Joel. It's not just Ellie. It's everyone. It's Dina. It's Tommy. It's every single angle. The people. The guy who called Ellie a bad word in the town hall that one night.
Town homophobe.
Yeah.
Not the town homophobe.
Hey, but he had. But while you playing though, he had an excellent line that he delivered to Ellie when he said, "You the one that said we."
Yeah.
And that kind of circulated through because he had the wherewithal to go get the supplies together for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, at first I thought she was going to be like, "Oh, you're only doing this because you still feel bad." And I think the reality is he knows, like he said those words in that meeting. He said, "You guys know good and well that we look weak if we don't do this."
Yeah.
And he was and I think he was being genuine in that respect. And I think he had, honestly, even though it was Joel that knocked him on his butt, I think he still had real, actual respect for Ellie, because, it's been I think it was like a 3-month time jump from the time Joel died till all that transpiring, because she just got the information. And I think that the way he presented that, even in the council meeting, it lets you know that he was on board, for real.
I thought his intentions were actually genuine and good. I thought he actually did mean what he said. And because he just knows that how desperate times are and how desperate people are. So, and he can't really step in people's way because, you know, everyone has different motives, but eventually people are going to step out and do their own thing eventually. But
yeah,
I agree. I think the whole council scene to me, like, just kind of helped build on the world for me. And, you know, what they have going on in Jackson. I love to see the inner workings of, you know, I guess, so society really, you know, and building things back up, establishing a form of government and leadership and, you know, voting for things. And I was definitely, I kind of laughed or whatever with the lady with the baby. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you're a little soft for me. Like y'all, I would leave her. You want to
What
go on
about
food?
the children?
Oh
You
my
go on supply
God.
run? Yeah, let's go on supply run. Like,
That's
you're
what
not
it's-
coming
yeah.
back.
oh my
Or
God.
as remind me of the lady in The Simpsons. What about the children?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I really loved for this particular scene. I loved Ellie's delivery of
Mhm.
the speech that she made.
Well,
Because you
thank
could
goodness she was
see-
told to write it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I
She
love
was
the
like,
way it
I
was
wasn't writing that.
delivered because, like, you can see the intention, you know,
Yeah.
the true intention within her. Like, yeah, it sounds good, it looks good, and it sounds inspiring, but she wanted to rage, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love the fact that when you're faced with that, because I learned this in acting class, you often you play the opposite of what's on the script.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so
Okay.
she
I didn't know
literally, as
that.
an actress, had to play the
That's an
opposite.
interesting
But
thing to hear. Okay.
But exactly. But that she had to sound convincing, and she had to sound like she had it together enough to convince
Really?
the council.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause
and it worked.
it's a I guess it's a debate tactic because the idea is, well, if I'm going to oppose it, what would I honestly say to defeat this?
Yeah.
So I have to be thinking that's that's crazy.
Yeah, I did
I
it.
might
I
have to start
literally told,
strategizing that way.
I told Jay that the other day, or when we watched it, and we did like a little exercise where I was like, well, just imagine like me as the character, and like, I don't know, maybe you killed my brother and you're forcing me to tell you that I love you. And so I did it 8 different ways to show him that the true intentions of hating him was in my eyes. And just kind of like what I was saying, he was like, oh, I see that. Like it makes it better, you know.
Really?
it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, for all you YouTubers out here, this is why you get an actress on your panel. This is why you get an actress on the team, because she can explain things that we would have never thought.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
And then, of course, you're going to get the cynic that's going to say that she's making all that up. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
great. I don't care what nobody say. It sounds real to me. So it makes sense. So,
No, Ellie cooked that scene though. She really did.
Yeah.
But also, okay, so let's play a game here. So let's just say we're on the council. How and taking away all the knowledge you have about what happens, what you see, what you know behind the scenes stuff. How would you have voted? Would you have voted against Joel Ellie, because Joel's dead, against Ellie and 16 people, by the way, 16 other people total going? How would you vote? Yes or no?
I would vote yes.
I probably vote yeah.
You're the actress, yeah.
I would definitely say yes. And it would. The reality is, it wouldn't have mattered to me whether it was vengeance or justice or however she worded it. Yeah. Hey, go get your lick back. Yeah, because you're gonna go do it anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be a determination. Now, am I going to? And I know RJ like no, y'all can go, but I ain't going. But
I tell you what, 15 people wouldn't make it back, and they'd be like, "So what happened? Yeah, we got him.
Oh my gosh,
we got him. You only go for 2 days. We got him. That's all we needed."
And Shayna, by the way, Desiree is an amazing actress. By the way, Shayna.
Thank you.
I would vote no.
You vote?
I would vote no. I would.
Okay.
So why? Let me explain myself.
Okay.
So I feel like this. They did have a really good point. It's 15 people of like one of the best fighters. Mind you, everybody's dead. Everybody's gone. Their forces are reduced. The wall is barely repaired. What if they have another infected attack? What if they have more others? So I feel like I would say no, as in like not right No, as in not right now. Not no, as in like we're not going. Like let's build up a little bit. Let's get some supplies. Let's do some recon.
But 3 months has passed.
They still need more time. They weren't. So all right, 3 months has passed, right? So you mean tell me in 3 months y'all couldn't rebuild that wall? Y'all not ready.
I mean,
y'all not ready.
They could rebuild the wall.
They were complaining about that.
Yeah,
in the council meeting.
Y'all not ready. So
you're bringing. I mean, that's a good point though, because I mean, if you have time, because I mean, they know that like they have nothing else to do, so they have to at that point because you don't want nothing else coming in or out.
Yeah.
But
thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. That really
amazing.
Thank you.
Well, we know that it wasn't about the children for RJ, but still,
damn sure it wasn't. Listen.
Matter of fact, send the kids.
Hey kids, you want to go on a supply run? Oh, didn't make it.
Gosh, that's
good run.
Well, we see what happens to kids on the trail.
Oh damn! Yeah. We gotta. Yeah, that's actually.
That's right.
That's actually the next topic.
That's a good transition.
So, I felt really bad because one, these people. There's a damn. Never mind. I don't.
To an extent, though.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, okay. I mean, I know it's an interesting concept, the whole cult thing and stuff, but like my problem is like
immediately.
Only kids are going.
That is terrible.
Ellie, matter of fact, you take 25 kids with you.
Let's go. Everybody.
That's terrible. But as far as that cult aspect, I don't feel too bad for that.
Slightly,
because it's not a brainwashing.
Okay, so here's my question, because obviously I know there's things about the game that you guys know, but are they gonna do the whole thing where they make them seem different?
No, to me they're exactly how they're portrayed in the and I will not be not babysitting ever unless you want them gone, because we're going to supply run, they ain't coming back. But they are portrayed exactly how they are in the video game. They are, I don't want to say brainwashed. Would you say brainwashed, Jay?
I would say more, they fantasize about things that are just like unrealistic and just weird. Like, I feel like it's more rooted in like a small community base where they have this like evangelic kind of mentality, because after all in the game they are cannibals. So I mean, spoiler, but not spoiler. So this is kind of odd to me.
Yeah. And I knew they were cannibals just looking at them. I was like, yep.
They seem to like, even after what happened to them, I was just kind of like, okay, that seemed a little weird, because of how they just popped up on screen and then you just see the aftermath later. And I was like, okay, it has to be more context to that.
Well, because Des mentioned too, she's like, well, why does that person have a hammer? Like,
right.
That's a choice weapon there. I'm like, that
you
ain't
have to choose to carry a hammer. They're very, and I'll say this without spoiling, they're very primitive. They don't believe in a lot of modern stuff.
Yeah.
And so you'll see them using like blades, bow and arrows. They're
torches
torches. They're very like kind of old school, which I just feel like in this world you can't afford to be like old school. But I like the scars. I really want them to explain the drama, because there's so much drama that happens in the game, but you don't see it. You read it. Like as you go along and play the game, you find letters of them writing, the wolves came and they took out Fedra, and then the scars came, and they take, so there's like a 3-way war between or 4-way with the wolves, Fedra, Fireflies, and the Scars. So there's a lot of beef and drama that happens between the first and the second games that I don't think they have the time to fully explain that. And I think that's kind of why they wanted to show us who the Scars were really quickly, and just kind of give them an idea of their religion, because it also is a religion. So it's not just a group of individuals who just kind of found each other. They share similar religious beliefs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That kind of evangelic kind of like thought process.
They believe in, and it's Yeah, wait a minute. Okay, so I don't know if this is true. Let me Google this, because if it is true, because I saw it, I'm gonna be pissed off because we just talked about this the other day. Hold on. I hope it's not true. Okay, it was just a fan casting. Thank goodness. Somebody said they cast Aquafina, and last yeah, whew, I was about to lose it. Because they said she's going to play. Well, I don't want to give it away. There's another character that's going to be introduced, and they said they were going to be played by Aquafina. And the thing said like via deadline, and I was like almost threw up. And then like I went to Google it just now, and it wasn't there. So thank goodness.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, because we know y'all got my message the other day when I said my top 5 celebrity celebrity enemies list.
So is the cult a big deal in the game? Well, yes and no, because it's the parts where they play that like RJ was just mentioning. There is a lot of like mystery still, and things that we have learned about them in the game. But we know that they're not outsiders. They're just this group that kind of are like they travel secretively in different areas to make sure that they can set up shop and then stay there for a while and then do their thing, like cut up people and go hunting and just do nasty weird things.
They're like what Jay said. They're in there, but they're not like the main villains. They're more so like a problem for the wolves, if anything. And it's sort of like the enemy of my enemy is also my enemy, but not really my enemy. So it's like they want to kind of just. Ellie and Dina have like this thing about that they want to do, but the scars are just kind of like a bump in the road to kind of throw them off. They do have a significant portion of the game that I do enjoy, but the wolves are like the main target. But the cult does have really good lore.
The wolves are tough.
Yeah, that's a good question, Shayna.
Yeah.
For who? Oh, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, Aquafina. Yeah, bye. That would have been it. Show over. Matter of fact, Goose going to shut Suicide down. I don't want to do this no more.
Oh,
you have to rebrand.
No, they took them out super quick though. Like, and this is what I want people to understand about like the wolves. They're super merciless. There's no like, oh, that's a child or blah blah blah. Like, they don't care about anybody, and it's sort of like you think someone's the good guy because they come in for quote unquote protection, but they're not. But also, what I think about when it comes to just this IP anyway is being right is such, or morality is such a gray, because everybody's right and everybody's wrong on all sides of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that just goes into each person's motive, because everybody's faction, if you will, has a way of operating. And some people is just like, well, we're just going to conquer you, take your stuff and keep moving. And other people are like, well, do we absorb you into what we're doing, or are we trying to,
Yeah.
That's why I like it that you meant it like absorb, because some groups are like, they recruit different ways too. Right. And they say like, hey, do you want to do this? And this is what we're about. And like, it's the different mindsets too, because some people don't want to switch over to that group because they don't like that, the way that they think or how they operate because of A, B, C, and D. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting seeing the different angles from these characters in the groups.
Yeah, this episode was given, I don't know if it was for you guys, but it was definitely given 100, the 100.
Yes,
It kind of, now I watch that now. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
Of course, The Walking Dead. But definitely gave me 100 vibes when we saw that,
You look like Grounders,
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about the scene from when there's like walking towards like the city?
No, when they were walking in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, they're walking. Yeah, in the woods. Yeah.
I like Grounders from the 100. Yeah. I can't wait for y'all to see just how much the wolves, like, they hate the scars. Well, Seraphites. They're actually called Seraphites, but they hate them like with a passion.
And the thing what RJ mentioned too, how brutal they are. So they're the type, like, let's say like you're just, if you live up in like a like a building or something, and they see you move. They don't care if it's your child. They don't care if it's, whatever, your grandma. They're just going to spray. They'll spray through the window. They'll spray through the house. They don't care. They'll come in and take your stuff.
Jeez.
It makes you realize, like, nobody's the good guy, or everybody's the bad guy to somebody.
Oh,
Like how Ellie was the bad guy to Abby, and now Abby's the bad guy to Ellie, when really Abby was just getting her lick back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's crazy. And now Ellie want her lick back. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how though they're so confident with just her and Dina. I really wish they had gotten like a group together, even though they voted at the council. I just don't see it for those two. Taking
That's a long day trip.
Yeah.
It is.
And the
two of
first
them.
thing she said was, we're not going to travel the main roads. So if you take an alternative routes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're in Wyoming, correct?
Yeah.
And they're going to Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's like almost 800 miles.
it is. But like once you get there, then what? It's just the two of y'all.
Exactly. And I'm glad
Against
that
this bigger group.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Gerald and Des mentioned that, like, as far as like how, like, because like how is this going to play out? Like why, like in the thought process, like why would you not want to get a bigger group? Because two of y'all, if one goes down, it's kind of rough for one person unless you know how to survive. But even then, like she said,
One gets caught and tortured, then it's
Yeah.
The
Scars are scary because they are a religious cult who also believes that you have to believe in what they believe. They're very like, I don't want to call them extremists, but for lack of a better term, they're more so extremists in the game as far as like what they're willing to do to outsiders and stuff like that. Now the beef started because their god was captured by the wolves and killed, and that just started like an all-out like war that's just never gonna end. And so like they hate the wolves because they killed their quote unquote god, which was a regular human being.
Yeah,
they exalted.
They're very Machiavelli kind of like how they choose and like what they do as far as like their rituals and stuff. And it's just
not you having beef with the 100, man.
Yeah, the commander.
I stopped when they went to that other planet.
Oh yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is stupid. And then they started like taking over bodies and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
I think that's where I stopped too.
Yeah, it was getting a little. We don't know what more to write.
Yeah.
I thought that whistling was interesting. That's a funny statement of Shayna.
Yeah.
You expect me to learn how to whistle like that? Well, you probably want to.
You probably want.
And RJ,
when you hear it in the game,
I was just about to say that.
You go, just run. That's how they communicate, like location wise, or if they see something.
Well, yeah, because I saw him quiz the little girl.
Yeah,
on, like what those commands meant, and she named them off, and he's like, "Okay, you got it."
And the interesting thing about the Scars or the Seraphites is the armies are only made up of every firstborn child. So if you have a child, your firstborn is automatically put into that army. I don't know about the rest of the kids, but everybody's firstborn goes straight to the army.
Yeah.
Whew, I'd be safe. I'm the middle child.
Me too.
I'm second.
And RJ, those big dudes with the axes in the Scars group, man.
I can't wait till they come in.
Oh boy,
that's gonna cook.
They're in trouble.
It's so funny how even religion will still find its way in a post-apocalyptic setting.
Crazy.
Religion, homophobia, like it's not going nowhere.
Necromancy
is the great equalizer. So
exactly.
Keeps people under control in a certain way. So
yeah,
you're gonna always have that.
And good thing you said that, Gerald. Put a pin in that because that's what you just said is going to be important later on down the line when it comes to the Scar storyline.
Yep.
I can't even understand.
Braille
for the mouth.
Like my wife trying to whistle at me at the grocery store, and I was like, first off, I don't respond to random whistles. So it could have been you, and it could have been anybody. So there's that.
You see, smart man, you didn't turn around.
Oh no! I ain't never interested in no random whistle. That might be a dude. I don't know.
And turn around like, oh shoot.
What you were looking for? Nah.
Look at me, I'm easy. Doesn't take much these days, especially after the weekend I had.
You're like, what was that? What was that? Was that for me? Was that for me?
Anybody?
Redact that.
You see Stan.
Man,
yeah. But one thing I didn't really, I don't know. I liked it in the game. I feel like they got to Washington Washington. Yeah, like they got there too
very
quick.
fast.
There's like the next scene that were there, and that's kind of how it happens in the game. Like they leave, and then I'm thinking, okay, now I'm gonna have to track and infected and all this stuff, and then the next scene is them pulling up to like WLF, and I'm like, bro, come on.
Yeah, because it's not. I guess it was just the way it pushed the story, but I mean, again, I kind of wanted to make my way a little bit through some parts to make it like the adventure more like suspenseful for me in the game at least. But I guess it's just one of those things. It's like, you don't need to see it. It's like we're going.
Yeah, because when it was like 9 more miles, I'm like, already? Like, sheesh.
Like, y'all know I'll be zoning out. So I was like, damn, did I miss something?
Like, I'm like, did y'all even bother to wrap that damn horse's ankles? Probably.
Like, did the horse jump in the rocket with you guys? And
like what?
That poor horse, all that stuff.
We didn't talk about the lesbian stuff that was going on. Dina wanted to know how her kiss was, and Ellie was like 6. I would have found somebody to bite me. Like that's it.
I hated that for her. Like, dang, a 6.
Yeah.
I was like, if you can't kiss, you just can't kiss in general. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Well, I told Jay, I'm like, I'm old enough to not even care anymore. Like, you just don't take this.
At this point, it's like whatever. But they still like each other, and it's a little different in the game too. RJ, I completely forgot how their relationship goes as far as
there's no hesitation in the game. Like here, it just feels like they're dancing around their sexuality, whereas in the game, like it's just like Dina's. I don't want to say Dina's more aggressive, but she's really open to like Ellie. Like she doesn't hold back in the game. So for me, it's just a little different to kind of see to see Dina kind of dancing around the thing, and two, especially because her character in the game is a lot more Aubrey Plaza than anything for me. I feel like
she flirts really hard.
Yeah,
like she and that's like you were saying, it's not aggressive. It's just she flirts really hard, and she just kind of like I think she has like some kind of ADD.
I don't know. It's like she's not focusing on, like she's not locked in how she was in the game. Like you could tell she was trying to get Ellie in the game, but here in this one, it's like, I might like you, but I was also letting my ex hit. Like it's like what?
Yeah, they got to stretch it for an interesting story.
Because she said out her own mouth, they said she had asked her something about, well, why don't you go like back to get Jesse? And she like being on her, I did. So it's like, so you basically let your ex crack, but then you kiss me at the party. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
When she said that I'm straight and I had to I was like, well, maybe bi-curious.
Maybe bi-curious.
And that's okay.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing that's what I kind of like about the game more is that they went there, RJ, instead of like dancing around in the show. But I mean, again, they changed things for whatever reason. But Des mentioned that still I think that what's naturalistic about this is that like you don't always have to like stick to the game, but like give people a sense of something that's more like it's there, like you don't have to play with it, just we know as
lean into it.
Yeah, exactly.
That goes to that pandering, I think, a little bit with the TV portion of it, I think.
Yeah, because anything LGBTQ is going to have the conservatives frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, because if it's too heavy-handed, there they go. They're doing this for the, And so if you try to at least be subtle about it, you can see that there's a little bit of a choice being made as opposed to just see. I knew they were going to do this, and I knew they were going to do that. But you're not going to have an issue with her being called a slur but you have issues with
Right.
it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the way they're doing it. I do.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
know what they are going that way with her character, but vicarious for sure. At the very least, vicarious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. She even said it. She's like, I'm at least a bit curious or something like that.
Yeah.
She said something like that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in that game, she was not curious. They went at it
Mhm.
like draws off and all. Like they went at it.
Yeah.
There's no question about it in the game. So, also one thing I wanted to bring up too was Ellie and Dina come across the bodies of the thing, and Dina can't take it, and she throws up.
hmm
That to me, I feel like I wish that I just think she was being a little dramatic. That wasn't anything to throw up over. 'Cause I feel like you've seen bodies before.
I
Mhm.
kind of agree
I
with
heard
that.
something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I heard. Well, I've seen something different, but
That's
yeah,
what I mean.
yeah,
Yeah, so I
It's
wanted to throw
really
nothing out there because I
Yeah.
obviously didn't play the game, but I heard
Yeah.
something totally different about that. So
yeah.
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 it did seem out of place because I'm thinking
That's what I'm
surely
saying,
you've seen
yeah.
a dead body before. Like with all this, all these things that have happened all this time, you've seen a dead body. You've killed somebody before.
Yeah, you bragged about killing somebody.
So-
Like now you're like, oh god.
Yeah, I was
They
like,
did that on
okay.
purpose, but yeah.
But I
but
will
think-
say though, sometimes that reaction, I mean, how long were the bodies there? The smell, it's
Oh,
a
we
lot
don't know.
stronger. The
Yeah.
amount of bodies in that one area, maybe
Yeah.
the child that she saw, sometimes you just, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
It looks really cold. So I
They were
do wonder how long
they
they
were 3 months away from a whole barbecue disaster.
Wait, because it wasn't winter anymore.
Now. Right.
Nah, it wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but no, RJ, you did mention that. Still, like it's crazy just that amount of time because we know like in the game what happens with that. Why she like that scene specifically. But I feel like this could go either way. It could be just the bodies, or it could be like what happened in the game. We won't spoil or anything, or
Yeah.
if it's not that.
Yeah, them bodies weren't on ice, when they had that snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's hot.
Just blazing hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little iffy when I saw it. I was like, okay, there has to be more to that, but I just kind of left it.
Yeah, and it could just be, you know what? It could be because that action, I feel like it is necessary because she walked right into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're not expecting something,
She came stumbling out of that
walk right
smell.
into it.
You probably got a good whiff of that. Just
She was like, Ellie.
Yeah, the
Well,
body's
she-
gonna do what it does at the moment.
Yeah. Like the way she stumbled out of it, I always thought she saw somebody like split open or something. And it was like, you're a little dramatic. They just got shot.
Well, I mean, walking through that area would probably smell like a butt farm. So I mean, I'm sure that she got that whiff and just was like, "Whoa!" Like,
No, not yet.
No, I asked her a question.
Yes,
oh,
Oh yeah. But
you didn't get your package.
not yet.
I'll check the tracking.
Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. I enjoyed this episode. Like we said, it wasn't action packed. We didn't see any infected, which I feel like is really hard to pull off a good episode without the main, I guess, antagonist or the reason why the world exists. I'm not sure if Walking Dead ever did a zombie-less episode. I probably have, but I don't think this was a bad episode. As you can see, we managed to talk about it for 43 minutes, so it couldn't have been too bad. So overall ratings 1 to 10 of this episode.
For me, I rated an 8. I liked how it was a little bit more emotionally heavy, and I think that's what sort of carried them through, the episode as a whole. And so it wasn't really filler to me. Like I said, it was necessary.
Okay, fair.
yeah, I would actually have to give it an 8.5 because there was it's not always about moving the action forward, but of course, it wasn't a lot going on. But I still feel like there was so much going on that was important, especially with just Tommy seeing his brother there on the table. It was just so sad. So just wanted to mention that, but I would give it 8.5. Still a really good emotional episode. That was
Felt the emotion. Just I don't know. It's a weird disconnect from me. 7.5.
Okay. I'm sitting at an 8. I think Bella Ramsey's performance. I think they did a very good job of just kind of pulling you into the aftermath of, you know, what happens after you've lost that loved one and how you're not thinking straight and things like that. Even when Dina said that she had information for her, but she went to wait until she got out the hospital to tell her because Ellie's character is so volatile that she's not going to think. And I think that Bella Ramsey's actions as Ellie just kind of, you know, really solidified the character, how they operate. Like I know Quentin Brunson one time said that every character should react just to a situation a separate way. And I think Ellie's reaction is Ellie's reaction. Like Tommy would never react like Ellie and vice versa. So I feel like the way she portrayed that emotion and anger and that readiness and willingness to jump and go get her look back, for me, that alone scores the episode as an 8.
The acting was what carried this episode. I think just everyone did so well with their emotions and just showing us just through their eyes and their face. So
yeah, I agree, Shane. It wasn't as close to episode 2, but next episode I'm excited for because one of my favorite scenes in the game with the train and the red lights is gonna come.
Ooh,
it's
man,
one of my favorite levels. That I love to. I'll say that next week. I don't want to spoil it, but like that's the level I like to start drama on.
Yeah, that was a fun level.
Yeah, I love it.
Can't wait.
But is there anything we forgot? Because I know last week when we got off live, we was like, oh, shoot, we didn't bring up XYZ. So let's take like a second here to make sure we talked about everything this week. We do that a lot. We'll get on live, we'll finish, and then we're like, oh, shoot, we left out a whole like thing. So is there anything that you guys in the comments noticed that we didn't talk about? Feel free to bring it up. Because when we get off of here, we always have like a oh, shoot moment.
There is always an oh shoot moment. That's the worst.
With everything, sinners, everything we've done, it's always an oh shoot moment.
Yeah. As far as me, I'm trying to think of other scenes that we missed. I don't think we missed too much though.
I don't think we missed.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot.
Because we talked about the town hall or the meeting.
Yeah, like the main things.
Yeah, we mentioned Tommy, so I think we're good.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it was.
I guarantee you, as soon as I hit end stream, we're gonna be like, "Oh shoot!"
Yeah, because I'm thinking now, but
yeah. Okay, well, I think we're good here.
Yeah,
right?
I think we're okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're good here. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Follow everybody on the panel and the links down below in the description. We're going to be trying to do some giveaways towards the finale, so the more people in here, the better. We love talking to you, interacting with you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, tuning in, and chatting up with us. We will see you same time, same place, next week, later days.